G'day guys, welcome aboard the Magknight 787. Here we are, we're approaching 39,000 feet, which is our cruising altitude, and last night on the Discord we had a couple of users complaining in the bugs channel that there was an issue with the plane ascending and descending really quickly at cruise. Okay, so as you can see we're approaching my cruise level, which is flight level 390, and our aircraft auto throttle switch is on up here, as you can see on the dash. Well, I like to call it the dash anyway, because that's where all the, the switchy things are. Autopilot switch is on, and our LNAV is on. That's another thing. There is a bug. The LNAV keeps dropping off, but that's okay. We can talk about that later. But here we are. We're talking about the AT switch and the AT switch arm. Both of those have to be in the up position, guys. Because if you don't have them in the up position, your aircraft is going to go haywire. Okay, so please ensure that they are both in the up position and on. From there, just making sure that my flight plan is still doing what it's supposed to be doing. Yep, awesome. Auto throttle switch on. To make sure your autopilot is set correctly, make sure your autopilot disengaged cover is up. Make sure your autopilot's on, LNAV's on, following your flight plan. Flight directives, both left and right, on. It's going to hold your altitude at 39,000 feet, so if that's not illuminated, please hold your altitude, so click it if it's not on. Generally, it should automatically hold your altitude. And also, make sure your QNH, or your altimeter, is correctly set above 10,000 to 1013 or 29901 or 2. Because if you don't have your altimeter set, the aircraft's going to go bonkers and do all sorts of weird stuff. Now, down at the FMC, I was talking to a couple of users on the Discord last night. They didn't understand what I was talking about. I wasn't in front of the plane, so I couldn't remember for the life of me what the section I was talking about was. But it's under thrust limit. Okay, so you click on thrust limit and it brings up this little thrust limitation page. When I'm cruising, I like to hit the cruise button, and you can see it limits the N1 to 96.6% N1. Okay, that's in the cruise. Usually on climb out, I have it set to continuous, right? And it has 98% N1. But then I also like to bring some of the stress off the engines by hitting minus 10%, and it brings it to 93.5. Once you're in the cruise, the aircraft should be nice and, cruisy and doing its thing, and just hanging out at your cruise level. And that's when you hit cruise. It brings your N1 to 96% N1, and then everything should be happy. You can get out of that and leave that alone. And for the life of me, I can't see why those other guys are having issues with the the ascent and descent thing whilst you're at cruise, because you can see that our aircraft is straight and level at flight level 390. It's not ascending or descending because I have the aircraft set properly. I hope this has helped you guys out. I really hope you guys need to, you see this, because you need to take note that make sure, number one, that your barrow is set. Alright, make sure if you're in Australia, or in a country that uses QNH, 1013, above 10,000. Otherwise, your aircraft is going to go bonkers. It will, because your plane won't know exactly what altitude it's at, and then it doesn't know whether it needs to descend or ascend or whatever. So it could be that causing it. So make sure your altimeter is set. Number two, when you're in the cruise, make sure you go to your thrust limitation page. Select cruise, right, which brings your N1 percentage down, alleviating stress on the engines. Okay, on climb out, have it set to continuous, right, and take off that 10%, getting rid of some of the stress on the engines. Obviously giving you more power on climb out, because the less stress you have on the engines, the more, the more happily your aircraft's going to climb. From there, that's pretty much it. Because as you can see, everything's hunky-dory. It's all behaving itself. Flight level 390. It's cruising nicely, and I don't foresee any issues with the aircraft. However, just if you're running RC2, please watch out for that LNAV issue, because you could end up off course if you're not focusing on what's in your cockpit. So I hope this helps you guys out, that we're having the issues with the uppy-downy thing. So until the next one, God bless you all. Have a great Christmas. Have a happy Christmas. Have a safe New Year. And I'll see you guys again soon here on The Leading Edge. Bye-bye.